well.
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Teddy and I'm leading the programmatic advertising division for the British market at Condé Nast, as well as supporting Western Europe with a go-to-market programmatic strategy, planning and implementation. Condé Nast is a media company more than 100 years old, and we own titles like Vogue, GQ, Glamour, Wired, Vanity Fair, the popular ones, I would say.
And you've had quite a lot of recognition for the work that you've done. Forbes 30 under 30?
Yeah, you know.
Well done.
That's just what I do.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
That's impressive. What does premium attention mean in 2026?
I think premium attention is having the focus of the consumer, of the reader, anyone who goes on your content. You can look at it from two different ways. Premium attention, it could be the attention that consumer had within premium environment, or premium attention is the really focused attention of the consumer aside from all the noise that is happening on the website, aside from the content. Now we have AI-driven content as well, you know, everywhere across the web, which is a bit disturbing, I dare to say. And I think nowadays, when it comes to impressions and reach, they're not as powerful as they used to be. Now attention is what everyone wants. Brands are fighting for it, left, right, and center, which is great. And this really gives a great opportunity for all the publishers and also all the premium environments out there to really create the best place for advertisements to put their ads. And not only that, but also allow them to achieve the results and the KPIs they're looking for.
And how should luxury brands think about paid media differently?
You see, there's so much they need to think about. So there are different luxury brands, right? We have luxury brands that very rarely use paid media to advertise because they're very niche brand. They don't need to do that. They have their clientele, they're high affluent, you know, consumers. They absolutely don't need to advertise. There are other brands that really stick to their ways of advertising, so they'll probably use one channel, and then that's only it, what they see results on, and they keep using it and using it. And I think there are other brands that they're daring to innovate and really to try the channels that really speak with their audiences. They really want to find the channels that are not only performance-based, but also fit for the whole funnel. And I think this is something that not only luxury brands, but every brand need to think about. Are you very performance-based? Are you looking at the full funnel activity? Because I think nowadays, to be very frank, and I'm sure everyone will agree, it's all about the bottom line. And when it comes to different channels that you want to put in the media plan, obviously you need to give a rationale to your shareholders about it, and sometimes it's very difficult. And premium environments, they do cost money, and we are all aware of that. And I think this is the main barrier to luxury brands to really use this paid media and premium environments as well. Although we know that luxury brands have a lot of money, I mean, let's be real, but I think this is still a challenge for them when it comes to that.
And what about for DTC brands? Like, how should they think about balancing performance spend with like premium media investment?
I think there's a huge opportunity for them, and you know, for all the brands out there. I think for the people who do the media planning, I think we really need to take time to learn about the channels and all the different vendors we can work with. That's the first thing. I would say when it comes to premium medium, you really need to understand where in the funnel it fits, and really speak with your rep or, you know, with the salesperson to understand that better. I think they also need to look at the formats, which is very important, and what formats are looking for them based on historic performance. I'm also a big fan of A/B testing, so you can always set a small budget aside and test on different channels, see what works for you, especially with premium media, because as I said earlier, premium media costs a lot. But I think if you really give a rationale for testing, you might get amazing results, and that will definitely be on your next media plan, and you'll keep using that. But I think something that everyone said in the previous session, I'm so happy they said that, is you need to know your customer, right? That's the most important bit, and we all sit on an enormous amount of data for our customers. And unfortunately, I really do think that we're not utilizing that data enough. I'm absolutely 100% sure of that, and I think that's the main barrier, I think, when it comes to really planning, media planning and buying as well.
And what makes someone really stop, trust, and engage with a premium media environment?
I think there are many things. I think usually the title helps. If it's a glossy title, everyone loves that. But I think at the core of it is really having the trust in the title, having the trust in the journalism and in the reporters that are working there, if we talk about publishers in particular. I think it's really about the content that is coming out of that title. Also, if you look at the premium environments, all the different marketing that they're using, all the different events they're doing, are they legit? Are they not really legit? How we think of them. And essentially, I think it's just about following your gut in places, because with AI, again, as I said, creating a lot of content, this is very tricky. And I think we should not be forgetting that even if there are some premium publishers, for example, whoever using AI to create different articles, let's say, the end user, the person who reads that content, it's absolutely not stupid. They know that this is AI.
And what role is programmatic playing in like high-end brand growth?
I think I'm very happy to see that it's playing even bigger, playing that, which is great. I think historically luxury brands have always used direct buy to purchase their inventory. I think everyone knows that you can buy, advertising through direct buy or programmatic, the two main methods. And it's very good to see that change and everything really shifting to programmatic in the past, I would say 3 years. Really, most of the brands are investing in that. However, that does not mean that there is still an educational piece that needs to be done with the luxury brands or what programmatic is. Because I think the main barrier for them to really switch from direct buy to programmatic is because they don't understand programmatic. And this is nothing to be ashamed of. I think they see it as something really technological, something out of space, something they definitely cannot work with. And if you work with programmatic, you probably know that it's pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy. You just need to learn, how to work on the platform. But I think for luxury brands, in order for them to stay ahead, they need to innovate. And programmatic is an innovation that is absolutely not new for us. It's been, out there maybe many more years that I've been on this earth. But I think it's good that they're trying and they're working with air agencies, or they're now bringing in-house programmatic teams to work on that. Another thing that I also want to mention is that last year I actually ran a campaign with a very, very big luxury client, and we essentially run a campaign direct buy and programmatic, absolutely same campaign, same line items, same targeting. Everything was absolutely the same. Of course, it was my idea to make them move to programmatic. And I'm very happy to say that the results were very different, and programmatic really drove higher click-through rate for them, higher attention rate for them. And that really shows the power that it has for the brands and for the advertising out there. Another thing for programmatic is also that the client can see how the campaign is pacing, because programmatic allows you to have this transparency. It's very fast to optimize as well, so it's so many benefits that you have from technological point of view that I think everyone should really take advantage of.
And for the brands in the room, like, what's the smartest way that they can enter premium media without overspending?
I think I would say first of all is know your audience. Again, that seems basic. Everyone said that, but sorry, that's the truth. Not every brand will work in premium environment because your audience might not be there, and that's a fact. Another thing is, I know years ago it was very trendy to do this brand persona. This is what our persona look like. I'm going to tell you there's no one persona that you have. You probably have at least 20 personas, so let's get on with it and let's think about the different personas that we have and how we can, use them and put them in the media plan in the different stages of the marketing funnel, which will be great. As I said earlier, A/B testing is good. You don't have to spend, thousands and thousands of pounds. You can spend even 1K. I would definitely recommend, if you want to run programmatic campaigns, just do a PMP. It doesn't have to be a PG deal. Just do private auction or preferred deal. Speak with your rep at the agency, with the sales teams at different publishers. And I personally believe that we really need to be transparent with our clients. So if I have 5 different products to sell and I have to sell them and I have targets, I personally wouldn't necessarily go to this client and sell all the 5 products to them. I'll really try to realize what product fits for their brand campaign, what product will be best for their KPI, and kind of trade with them in that way. Not everyone does that, but I think this is something that we need to really work towards as an industry and really be transparent when it comes to sales and commercial in order to achieve the best results and ultimately retain our clients.
And if a paid channel or every paid channel kind of disappeared tomorrow and you could only rely on like trust and storytelling and brand equity to grow, what would you double down on immediately?
I think if all the paid channels disappear tomorrow, that would be great, because we're all gonna feel much more relaxed. We'll be living our lives. There will be so much less noise, out there. It will be great for us. Probably not as good for the brands, but oh well, you cannot have it all. But I think brands really need to focus on authenticity. And if you think about it, years and years ago when there were really not so much paid media, the main communication channel was word of mouth. And I think to this day, as we saw in the previous session, this is still one of the main channels out there that also works. So I think you really need to make sure that you create a product that is of benefit for people, not only benefit for you as a company and getting the cash. We all love getting the cash, but that's not the point at the end of the day. And I think that you really need to be authentic with your brand, authentic with your messaging. You really need to install that transparency absolutely every step of your business, no matter what you do, in order to really reach to the end client that will retain and will stay to you. And I think also, if it's not paid media, let's think about events, for example, experiential as well. It should not be paid necessarily, but what can you really do to immerse your client with your brand? How can you get outside of the box? What ways you can go to your client and make this big thing that they will always remember? And I think with premium media, and to go back to your first question, with premium attention, it's all about remembering the ad that you saw in that environment and just not forget about it, and that's it. And it is very difficult nowadays because we've been bombarded with so many ads out there. But I think this is something that we can really need to reflect on and come up with ways, and probably out there to say work with different vendors and partners to come up together and collaborate on the best ways for you to put the brand out there and make sure that you achieve the results that you achieve while not really disturbing the client or be too pushy, because the client will definitely step back.
Well, thank you so much. That was so insightful.
Thank you.